ever on my mind. So hard to let go what I feel for you. You blow my mind, and you got my love so sweet. And I give it to you, baby, from my heart. Woo. See if you really care for each other. Tell me, baby, do you still care about me? And they still care about y'all sing that with me? If you still care about, yeah, sing it loud, y'all. Come on. Oh yeah, I feel you care. I know if you still care about me. There is still
Please welcome Layla Hathaway.
cherish the day, won't go astray, won't be afraid, won't catch me running. You rule in the way that I move, and I breathe your air.
I came before the county voting facility and rated for some votes based on 2020, I think it was 2020. I voted, and I'm upset because I feel that I'm in danger now. I feel that whatever they took from that facility had my name on it because I voted against Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Please don't apologize for your service.
You were the whole team, dog.
Please don't apologize for your service.
And I'm simply that thing. I'm a U.S. Marine, so I don't have nothing to be afraid of. But the point is, that's not how you do things. Because you're upset about 2020's election, you don't go and send the FBI out after innocent people who have voted for liberty and life and pursuit of justice. You don't do that. And so that's all I want to say.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. I'm your host, Stacy Brown.
Peace and love. I'm Niele Anderson, and lots of developing headlines happening this morning as we speak. Plus, we'll have a little bit more about Fulton County in just a few minutes. But right now, the most pressing and breaking news that is coming out of Don Lemon's camp is that he was arrested last night. Stacy, he's for, of course, the Grammy Awards. He has been posting about it. His attorney put out this statement. It is unclear if he's been released, but you know, typically if you get arrested on the weekend, you sit in jail. And so clearly this is an attack, a personal attack on him, because he's been promoting that he was coming to LA all week. I mean, putting money behind it, doing promos. He's definitely collaborating with the Grammy. So it's out there that he was coming to town and they snatched him up.
Yeah, this is more than just an attack on Don Lemon, folks. This is an attack on everybody, every journalist. The First Amendment has been under attack for a year now, and this is a direct shot across the bow. Folks, this is, look, you're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, and a journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. And that's the signpost ahead that says your next stop is here, the Twilight Zone. That's where we are right now, the Twilight Zone. And look, if somebody don't step in and put an end to this, you know, you see the Twilight Zone episode where it was Billy Mummy, and that's Donald Trump. He's like, you're a bad man. He's telling everybody, if you don't smile at him, you don't dance the jig for him, you're a bad man, and I'm gonna put you in the cornfield.
Well, I think, you know, going back to what you said, this is an attack on journalists, and now, you know, Minneapolis journalists should be very concerned, because now if they've arrested Don Lemon, you know, what they're doing to let people know what's happening, they're next. And so I had said this before, you know, it was good that he didn't get arrested because I felt that the other ones were covered. But now the door is open, and anybody that says anything against him, you're up for attack.
Yeah,
shots fired.
Shots fired. I mean, this is a situation where, again, we've talked about how people said, well, how do you want history to remember you? If people really feel that, and I'm talking specifically, and we'll get to, and as RNG mentioned, the spineless, just the spine. I'm gonna leave it as spineless because Greer says stop calling people names. Chuck Schumer. It's unbelievable. The shutdown last fall, he agrees to reopen the government, to throw all his cards, whatever leverage he had, to throw it away on the promise that MAGA would then negotiate with him. No, you negotiate now. The same thing as he agreed to now. He says they're going to give ICE all their funding, Homeland Security all their funding, but with the promise from Donald Trump, as if that carries any currency, with the promise that they will continue to negotiate something different for ICE. Folks, Chuck Schumer is the enemy too. He's the enemy too. There's no question about it. John Fetterman comes out with his enemy talk like Joe Manchin used to. Schumer masked his. Schumer is the enemy. And now he finds out this morning He finds out this morning or late last night while he announces this deal, the Democrats who do have spine said, no, Chucky, we don't have a deal. We don't have the votes. We don't have the votes. So the government will likely shut down tonight. And at this point, so be it. Because it was no, in this deal, so-called agreement, still no healthcare subsidies. And nothing changes with the Department of Homeland Security. Nothing, zero, except Donald Trump told Schumer, oh, you know what? Just let the government, let it continue, let the funding continue, and we'll talk more about this in the coming weeks. What? This is the Twilight Zone, Neil. There are no real allies on Capitol Hill.
Well, we know
who have power.
today. Well, we know today is the shut it down day. Today is January 30th, and there is a nationwide boycott happening. No school, no work, no shopping. So hopefully, folks, you know, if people believe that we're living in the Twilight Zone, Stacy, maybe they will put whatever power, small or large, into action and participate in this day of action.
Yeah, listen, somebody, Neil, somebody with power. John Roberts, his Supreme Court will go down. It's no question. No matter what happens from here going on, it's the worst Supreme Court in the history of the United States. The worst, and yes, it's a lot when you.
Well, I mean, we could talk about it. We can complain about it. We can call them names, or we can figure out solutions to make it happen. And like Greer just posted, today is the day. I mean, we could talk about these people, and we're in the Twilight Zone. But what are we going to do about it? And today is a call to action. So if you feel like we're in the Twilight Zone, let it be known, family. If people watching, if you feel like you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, like Fannie Lou Haman, you can join collectively today with all this anger and all this frustration. Collectively today, you can use your power and do nothing.
You could take them from the Twilight Zone to the Terror Dome, as Chuck says. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Show them the Bronx. Show them Queens. Brooklyn. I don't know about Brooklyn. Anyway, that video that we started with, I can imagine the feelings down there in Fulton County.
For sure. Fulton County Chairperson Rob Pitts yesterday had a clear message for Donald Trump, and he said, leave Fulton County alone. Now, during the press conference, he stated it's about something else that has not yet been revealed. So as you know, in that video, the FBI took over 700 boxes of voter information, which they don't know where it's been taken. Now, according to Sherry Allen, who is the chair of Fulton County Elections, said they had a difficult time even getting a copy of the warrant. And it's not clear exactly who the target is. Meanwhile, election law experts are questioning the legality of the FBI's unprecedented seizure of 2020 election ballots in Fulton County, in a raid that has further inflamed fears of federal interference in the upcoming midterms. And they warn 2020 isn't the investigation's real target, 2026 is. And so yesterday, Chairman Rob Pitts, along with the chair of the county elections of Fulton County. First of all, we know that it's Black, right? So when we talk about, is it, them, the undocumented immigrants? Well, now the Trump administration is knocking on our doors because Fulton County is a Black town. And we know, I don't even want to say their names, but those two election poll workers that were terrorized, and had Rudy Giuliani had to pay them, but they had to leave their homes. They can't even, nobody knows where they are because they had death threats. And so for Donald Trump and his clan to open up that Pandora's box again, it sends chills, not just to the election workers, but like you saw that gentleman, to the voters, because you don't know what they're going to do or who's going to be on their hit list by seizing those documents. And so, you know, like I say, it's a lot of frustration, but we have to start channeling our frustration into ways to act and resist this Klan.
You mentioned those two poll workers. You would think that they were in some sort of like a witness protection program, right? I'm not saying they are, and at this moment, I kind of hope that they're not, because the witness protection program is run by the U.S. Department of Justice, and we know that says that it's run by Donald Trump.
We need them on the underground for
Yeah.
witness protection.
Yes, it 100%. But this is again, you know, like you said, this is not about 2020. 2020 is in the past. 2020 is long gone. It's done.
But for Donald Trump, but for Donald Trump, it slightly is about 2020, because if that man can rewrite history,
oh yeah, he will.
Like that, he will. You know.
There's a report, Niele, and that said that he's making a deal. Remember, folks seeing that, well, because so much goes on, you tend to forget it just recently happened when he went into Venezuela and got the president and the president's wife. Folks, they're saying that he's trying to make a deal. He's offering a deal to Maduro, the president of Venezuela, who he has in prison here, that if he comes out and says that he helped steal the election, then he can go home. There's a report. Now, is that report accurate? Is it real? I guess we'll find out, but it's not far-fetched when you think about it. And Trump is going, he posted last night that based on the 2016 election, which nobody disputed, and he won his first, he said that he has uncovered evidence. This is his post last night, of course, 2-3 in the morning probably, that Barack Hussein Obama, as he says, tried to get Russia to interfere. Remember that whole Russian interference thing? And he says Obama should be arrested. This is his late night post going into this morning. This man is truly obsessed with destroying everything and everyone who he perceives. Listen, Barack Obama is not spending his days and nights concerned with Donald Trump.
Barack Obama is getting ready to open his library. That's what he cares about. But Orange G says Fulton County is 70% Black, and that county votes 80% Democrat. That is intimidation, but they don't have any federal protection. The 6 conservatives on the Supreme Court serves Donald Trump. Yeah, the makeup is Black. And so when we talk about, you know, when is he coming to knock on our door? He has knocked on our door.
Uria?
No, you know, we are in, we talk about unprecedented times. This is extremely frightening. And we all should be concerned, because this administration, I'm not going to say Donald Trump's name. Okay. Yes, he has an axe to grind. He has all this power, but the people that are behind this, who are really moving the pieces to this puzzle, Donald Trump is the president, and he's also a useful idiot. Okay. And his gripes are, right, they're being weaponized again. But the agencies that are sworn to protect American citizens are being used against American citizens right now. And you know, I can't say that I have the answer to any of this. Well, at least my answers won't work. You know what I'm saying? But this is extremely concerning.
Yeah.
This is not a light matter. You know, think about how many cities that we know of that they've hit so far, taking voter rolls and targeting Black communities in this way. This is very concerning.
Yeah. Nancy Wall is saying, but that doesn't make it true. Mike V says, because is by and large the most powerful black man of the 21st century. He's talking about Barack Obama, I believe. And for a white man, that is difficult to wrestle with. Orange G says Neo is correct about Stephen Miller. He controls the DHS and he wants a civil war ASAP.
That's what I'm saying, 100%.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know, Donald Trump is a demented old man. The people that are dangerous, that is pulling the strings, Stephen Miller, he is a vile racist, the vilest.
Yeah.
Right? To sit and power. This is a problem.
Yeah, well, we know Stephen Miller is controlled by Steve Bannon. I mean, and so it's all connected. They all are playing the game, and it's negative, but it's working for them. Whatever is happening in that White House, although there's no strategy, they don't think things out. They just do things. You know, they call audibles left and right. No thought whatsoever. Just go.
Just go. Yeah, exactly.
There's no thought about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those people in the White House are corrupt. And Donald Trump has his purpose. The Klan has their purpose. Project 2026 has their purpose. And they're just all, you know, the tech people have their purpose, and they're all just moving around, just taking from America. Meanwhile, people can't buy groceries. They're having trouble paying their rent. This country is at an all-time high with unemployment, and we're not getting the numbers. They don't want us to know how bad it is. And so they're not thinking about anything but themselves.
Well, and so a couple of quick things on that too. So Donald Trump is suing a woman who refused self-deport for $1 million, right? But that's just the tip of the iceberg, very tip of the iceberg, because he's suing America, folks. Donald Trump has decided to sue the United States of America for $10 billion. You are hearing this right. This is not hyperbole. The biggest grift, the biggest shakedown, the biggest and most blatant heist in the history of this government. Trump and his two eldest sons and his family business have sued the Internal Revenue Service and the U.S. Treasury Department over alleged leaks of their confidential tax information. They are seeking at least $10 billion in damages from the United States. And Trump says that the IRS wrongly allowed a rogue, politically motivated employee to leak private and confidential information about his and his family's and the Trump organization's tax returns. Now, here's the rub with that, folks. Bad enough a president is suing the country for $10 billion. The rub with that is this leak from the IRS came during his presidency. Presidency, folks. He cites 2019 specifically in his lawsuit. 2019, if I recall, Donald Trump was the president of the United States. I can't stress it enough that the Department of Justice, the Internal Revenue, the U.S. Treasury Department are all controlled by Donald Trump. So that $10 billion, he's going to get, folks. He's going to get it. This is the Twilight Zone. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So he's taking all the money. Stephen Miller wants the race war, the civil war. This is what it's all about.
Right.
He will never be satisfied. There are these old vampire movies. The vampire is never satisfied, never has enough blood. This is what this is.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, this is what they voted for. And it's kind of like that back and forth thing, how we feel is like, well, I mean, we did what we were supposed to do. I mean, we voted for the lady. So we voted for the lady. Overwhelmingly, we voted for the lady. So, I mean, the best thing that I could do was not shop today. That is my participation for today, is to not shop, to not do nothing, because I mean, it's above me. It's above me.
That's what Greer said. Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? But there is some justice for Black America with Miss Macy. Yeah, you want to
Sonia
talk about
Macy.
that?
Massey. Sonia Macy. Massey. You got me saying different words here. Yes, indeed. Sean Grayson, a former Illinois Sheriff's Department deputy, was convicted of second-degree murder of the 2024 death of Sonia Massey. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison yesterday, followed by 2 years of supervised probation. In court, the former deputy gave a statement following his defense for the first time, admitting wrongdoing against Massey, a Black mother of two who had called 911 about a possible prowler outside her home. He said he made terrible decisions that night and apologized for her death. He says, I was very unprofessional that night. She didn't deserve to be yelled and cussed at and called names. Nobody deserves that. But here's the point, officer. You said she didn't deserve to be yelled at and cussed at and called names. She certainly didn't deserve to be killed.
Right.
And then he says he's apologized. How do you apologize? And then at the same time, as soon as they sentence you, you appeal saying that you didn't get a fair trial.
Well, yeah.
Give me a break.
It's good. It's justice. I mean, justice would be for her to be alive, right? But this is some form of, justice and comfort for her family to know that he didn't walk away, and that her life mattered. Her life mattered, and so this is, it's unfair that she's not here, but this is what accountability looks like. And this is what we have to keep pushing for and stay focused on, accountability. And this is what it looks like.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and not to throw cold water on this at all, Niele, but
I know you got, that's
it is a federal
nickname.
That's my nickname.
Yeah,
it's
just throw cold water on it.
It's a federal sentence, which means it's a federal conviction and a federal sentence, which means that the racists and chiefs, those who are in charge, can very well do something to make sure that it's going to upset the apple cart.
Right.
Nancy Wall says she's not shopping today either, Niele, and RNG says buy a shirt from a Black-owned business today. Don't blame me, he says. He says he voted for the AKA, not the KKK.
I like that. I voted. Now we use that one. I voted for the AKA, not the KKK. I like that, RNG. And yeah, today is a good day to boost small minority, particularly Black-owned businesses.
Yeah, Nancy, that's why I kind of stopped short of what I really wanted to say, Nancy.
But that's paperwork. Paperwork matters because it's in the history books. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but it doesn't change the fact that will be on his name for the rest of his life, and that will be what his legacy is. And those types of things matter in the future. That's if Donald Trump doesn't erase all the history of America.
Well, you got to believe, though, if you want to be a little positive here, you got to believe that eventually somebody, it's going to come to somebody, a new administration will eventually come in, but not forget to hold everybody involved. I mean, every single, all the way down to Nicki Minaj, hold them all accountable. You got to.
What do we hold Nicki Minaj accountable for?
Please ship that. Ain't your mama? Somebody posted a polar bear that she kind of resembled with what she was wearing. Ship her out of here. I listen. I'm not satisfied with just okay. They're gone. That phase is over with. I'm not going to be satisfied if I'm around. I'm not going to be satisfied. I want somebody that's going to come in there and say, okay, this is how it should be done. I mean, come on. Come on. I'm not going to be satisfied.
Dr. Marilyn says, does law enforcement candidates undergo psychological evaluation?
Absolutely not. Not these days. Not these days. Oh my gosh.
And speaking of law enforcement, you have something about swatting?
Niele's like, move on, will you?
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Yes, the dangerous practice.
Let's stay focused,
Listen,
Stacy.
I'm telling y'all, until y'all have dealt with these LA women, y'all don't know what y'all getting yourselves into. A dangerous practice of swatting is what we are referring to here. Cops showed up at, and I never say her name right. To me, she's
Garcelle.
always gonna be, yeah, she's always gonna, no, the last name. She's
Oh.
always gonna be fancy to me. Garcelle Beauvau.
What
They
is
knocked
she?
on her door.
Fancy from where?
The Jamie Foxx show.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay.
I don't watch the Real Housewives stuff. I can't tell you nothing about that. Listen, I got a Real Housewife here at home, and that's the only one I care about. But you know, they knocked on her door. Cops showed up at her door, responding to a call from someone who claimed to be her ex. On the call, the phony ex reportedly told police he was armed with a shotgun at her home. However, when the police arrived in droves, the SWAT team and all, she did not understand why they were even there. Can you imagine being swarmed by heavily armed cops and you have no idea what's going on? They're coming into your home. You have no idea, especially as a person of color.
Mhm.
Well, this swatting stuff has been going on for quite some time now, particularly in the Los Angeles area. A number of celebrities have had this happen to them and other folks as well, including Chris Brown. Nicki Minaj has had it happen to her. And even Dr. Melina Abdullah has had it happen to her. It's a
Several
terrible
times.
hoax.
It's
Yes.
happened to her several times. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, just think about why, what possesses someone to do this, Niele?
I don't know. I really don't know, but it's very dangerous. Swatting is a very dangerous situation because if they're coming in swatting, that means that there is a threat and an extreme threat. So they're busting in your house, and if you're protecting yourself and you have a gun, you might be victim to be shot. So it's a very dangerous and hostile situation to put victims in, because the officers are already, full of adrenaline, because it's not just a knock on the door, to check for safety. If they're coming swatting, they're coming in full artillery gear. The guns are out, the helmets are on, the bulletproof vest, the helicopter's flying, and they don't know what they're walking into, and you don't know what's happening on the other side of the door. So it's a very dangerous and hostile situation to be in.
Yeah, when cops get a call like that there's an armed situation, particularly in a home, they are coming. Their adrenaline is flowing. Let's face it, they're trigger happy as it is, and like Niele said, you just painted the real picture there. What if because you don't know, and a lot of times these swattings, they happen late at night. You don't know somebody's busted into your home and you are armed. You're going to look to defend yourself, not knowing and not expecting police. And what's going to happen?
Yeah,
What is likely to happen?
It's a dangerous situation.
Is
to put people in.
Garcelle still married? Like, was her husband there? Does anyone know?
She's not married. She's not married.
Yeah. I mean, Jamie could have been there. Let me tell you something. I say that not really as a joke. She has professed her love for Jamie. And she said, her and him both said that they don't know why it never clicked with them two as far as that romantic side is concerned, that they never really hooked up. But yeah, she is, she's single now.
Yeah.
So
she's a grandma.
Sure.
And she's a grandma, and I believe she has a Lifetime movie coming on this weekend. And I think it's a Terry McMillan book. It's either Terry McMillan or Mary J. Blige, but it is from a Black writer or a Black artist. So
okay. It's this weekend. Oh, cool! I gotta check it out. You know the name by chance?
Well, I'll get it.
Okay, cool. Dr. Marilyn says most of these cops are rejects or bullied in school and something to prove. Wow. And Dr. Marilyn, she gets into the psychological part. She knows. Folks, as thousands of female athletes take the world stage in Milan to compete at the 2026 Winter Olympics, a group has decided to invest more than $50 million to revolutionize their careers by closing the gaps for women in sports medicine research. Despite the exponential growth of female athletes across competitive sports, less than 10% of research has focused on women and their bodies. The Institute is hoping to focus on the challenges specific to women across age groups, including those who are postpartum and post-menopause, in an effort to prevent injuries and keep female athletes, playing longer. I think this is fantastic, because it is, most of this sports medicine research is focused on male athletes.
Yeah, I mean,
they're stepping up.
Women in sports are taking over, and they're just as important. So this is good. The name of the movie is Tempted 2. And it comes on Saturday on Lifetime, and it is based upon a Terry McMillan book. So yeah, Saturday. And Boris Cujo, he's playing in it. Leela Rashawn. So some heavy hitters are in that movie this weekend, so you can check out Garcelle.
Tempted 2. Now, see, I'm gonna watch it.
Tempted to Love.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say that must be.
But it's the number 2. It's called Tempted, the number 2 Love.
Oh, okay. Tempted to Love. Okay, I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Boris Cujo, where he been hiding?
When you make enough movies, you could chill. You don't have to be active all the time.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But no, back to the story. I think this is great. We need more support around women in sports, and to have more research around it. So this is good. Yeah. This is really good.
Orange G says he's only watching the Winter Olympics to see the Jamaican bobsled team and the black woman from the U.S. She's a speed skater.
I like the figure skating too. You don't like I love it when they figure skate and they twirl around, and then you're on pins and needles because please don't fall when they make that.
But could you imagine? Can you imagine how many times they fell when they first started practicing?
Oof, man. Yeah,
but I hope they was fully dressed and with gloves and helmets and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking about the Winter Olympics, and Donald Trump is trying to send ice over there to Italy, and they're like, why? What does ice have to do with anything happening in Italy?
Yeah, and how does that even match up? Because ice is about illegal immigrants, so you're the immigrant going. You would be the immigrant then, right?
It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
The person's name, by the way, the black woman skater, Orange G says, is Erin Jackson.
Okay.
So check out. But tell me, what other Winter Olympic sport are you into?
I like the skiing. I like the one where they have to jump up in the air and then land. That's a good one. I like the board. What is it? The ski board. Like a skateboard.
The bobsled.
No, the skateboard. The
sledding?
one. No, it's skiing, but it's like on a skateboard. What's it called, Orangey? You know what I'm talking about. It's the board.
Okay. Snowboarding.
Huh? What is it called?
Snowboarding.
There we go. Snowboarding. I like the snowboarding. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. We're the snowboarding. I like that. I like the skiing. I like the ice skating. I like the bobsledding. I like the Winter Olympics. It's something to watch.
You know what I remember most about the Winter Olympics is the ABC's Wild World of Sports opening, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. They always show the skier going for this crazy fall and everything, crashing into everything. But more on Erin Jackson from Orange G. She's the speed skater and Florida native who became the first black woman to win an individual gold medal at an Olympic Winter Game.
And isn't there a black woman playing hockey too?
Yes, we did that story last month, and asked me if I remember her name. No.
So yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be something to watch. We should all be excited about rooting for our Olympians because they are not to blame for the way Donald Trump is making our nation look.
Look at our sports guy. I mean, what? Oh, it is Friday too. So you got to check out RNG Swag Sports this evening. He says Layla Edwards is set to make history as the first Black woman to represent the United States in women's hockey at the 2026 Winter Olympics. Yeah,
There
we
we
talked
have
about
it.
her. And
Mhm.
by the way, before you move on, Neil, it is Happy Swag Hoodie Day. We missed that, and RNG is rocking Florida A&M. So
Nice.
there you go. He's down with Florida A&M today. I was going to put something on today, and then I saw the time and just sat down.
Dr. Miller says we're playing taboo, trying to guess. I know. I mean, but we're helping each other. We're filling in the blanks.
Fill in
But
the blanks.
we're filling in the blanks. But speaking of the Olympics and women in sports, Jordan Childs has been granted an appeal in her Olympic medal case. If you recall, Childs is fighting to keep her bronze medal from the 2024 Paris Olympics. And remember when she won, her and Simone did that iconic like bow down to the young lady from Brazil. I think her name is Andrea. And they did the bow down to her, just showing like support of athletes and Black women. But nevertheless, you know, there was a whole debate about wanting to take the award back and give it to somebody else.
Yep.
So the Swiss Federal Supreme Court ruled the Child's case will go back to the Court of Arbitration for Sports for reconsideration. And this is according to a news release from the Swiss High Court and a statement shared on social media by USA Gymnastics. So Jordan Childs may be able to keep her medal. And then maybe it has something to do with how extremely well she's performing for UCLA and across the country in the gymnastics competition that's happening. She just got a 10 on the vault, her first 10. And she's killing it. You know, she's getting 10s on her floor dance. And she loves to use like contemporary music. She's used Prince, she's used Beyonce, she's used Whitney Houston. So her floor exercises are impeccable. Love Jordan Childs, but I have still yet to see somebody jump as high as Simone Biles. I just haven't seen any woman do it. That girl, she damn near goes to Mars when she flips. I mean, it's high. I don't know how she does it, but you know, but I love those girls, and I love the 20. What was it? 2020? When was the Olympics? 2020 or 2022?
The Summer Olympics
Were
was just
2024. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. But I love that gymnastics team. They were such a great team, and Jordan Childs was definitely a part of why they won the gold medal for sure.
You know, I you know, looking at Jordan Childs, like you said, and Simone jumping so high, you see Black women in these sports. They are really doing their thing. I was watching the situation with Coco Gauff, and people
when
look
she
for
broke
them.
her,
They look for them to right. They're under so much scrutiny more than any other athletes, right? And she was frustrated, and in a private moment, you know, broke her racket against, you know, a wall there.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, well, without question. But of course, she got, you know, the mainstream press was just going off on her about it and grilling her about it, and it's like, yeah, hey, how many times have we seen football players, basketball players, baseball players, you know, slam their helmets or their
remember
rackets?
John McEnroe. He used to go off.
The guy used to, he's like, what kind of drug is he taking? They need to put him on Adderall or something. John McEnroe was so out of control. It was a normal thing for him, slamming his racket down, breaking 2 or 3 rackets a set, going after the ref. This girl does not express frustration toward anyone. She goes into the tunnel, hits her racket, you know, upset with herself, not anybody else.
Yeah.
And they give her a hard time about it.
But we're looking forward to seeing her as well as Jordan Childs at the 2028 Olympics. And another Fast and Furious Olympian was just arrested. I'm talking about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yes.
She was arrested on charges of speeding of over 100 miles per hour in Florida. Now, the 25-year-old sprinter was arrested and booked in Orange County Jail on yesterday on a charge of dangerous excessive speeding at 100 miles per hour or more. Her bond was set at $500, and a representative for Richardson and the U.S. track and field team did not immediately respond to requests from comments. So she's fast on the field and fast on the pedal.
I think this is a young lady who has gone through so much over the years, and sometimes, especially as a young person, the pressure is too much. I'm not making excuses for her driving 100 miles per hour plus, but this person, Sha'Carri has to. I'm hoping, she lost her grandmother, which was really huge for her. But I'm hoping that there's somebody in her world that really cares about her and that she really pays attention to, that will, sit her down and be that source that she needs to an outlet. Mm-hmm. This is a person who obviously could use a certain figure in her life.
Yeah, or maybe she just was in a Ferrari and she wanted to test the speed. I mean, maybe it's not that deep. It doesn't say that she was drinking. It doesn't say she was on drugs. I mean, if you have a Ferrari or a Porsche, what do you have it for if you don't test it out sometime?
Okay, well, go to a racetrack where you can drive 100 and something miles per hour. You cannot go on the behavior.
I'm not condoning her behavior, but maybe it was open highway. And the police officer was sitting on the side and she was like, let me just put this to the test.
Well, that also shows you she's not thinking straight.
But that's what Nancy, why? Because she wanted to try to test the speed of a fast car?
That's immaturity, right?
Nancy Wall says that's what I was thinking, Neil. She was just blowing the car out. I mean, men do it all the time. Men do it all the time.
No, but she's had. I only say that not only because of this incident, but she's had some other incidents go on in her life.
Yeah, she smoked weed. She got caught for that, and then she was in the airport and she got into an altercation with her dude.
Right.
Sounds like somebody. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like somebody normal stuff, but because she has the spotlight on her, I don't think that it's, she's not as problematic as others. That's all I'm saying.
Well, problematic to herself. These are self-inflicted wounds.
I agree with Niele. I gotta step in. We doing too much. You know what I'm saying? She's having regular human moments. And she just happens to be spotlight. Right.
I don't call that right at all.
But it doesn't matter what if she picked her nose, they would be talking about it for a week. It is in public. It is ridiculous that everything that she does gets blown up. She's not the first woman that has an argument with her man in public. Okay. She ain't the only person in the world who smoked weed. And you in a fast car, baby, my foot is hitting that metal if I'm on an open road.
At least once or twice. At least once or twice if I'm in a Porsche or a Lamborghini. I'm putting my foot on the pedal if I see open highway.
Right. All right. There you go.
Well, I disagree with both of y'all. I'm sorry. I disagree with both of y'all. not that it matters. But Dr. Malin, no. I mean, I'm not saying I'm right, but I just disagree. And I could be wrong. And I will stand on being wrong. But yes, Dr. Malin, that is not just Florida. If you're going 100 miles per hour, a law enforcement officer will arrest you. That is an arrestable offense. 100 miles per hour.
I mean, if I'm driving to Vegas or if I'm driving up north to see my sister and I see open highway, I have seen myself just unknowingly at 95 to 100, especially if it's open highway. It is easy to do. And if she was in a fast car, it's even more easier to do because that's what they're designed to do. And so it's an easy thing. It's an easy thing to do.
No question about it. Like I said, 100 miles per hour is just, it's really excessive. But you're right. If you are in a car, it was a Sunday morning. I'll never forget. I was in Oklahoma, and the cop gave me a ticket. He said he'll give it to me for doing something like 85 or 90, but he says he's sure I was doing well beyond that. It was absolutely nobody on the road. I had the music going. It was early on
Right.
Sunday
You're
morning.
vibing.
Yeah. So in that sense, I guess I can relate. This was some years ago. So yeah, I remember that very well. I didn't realize how fast I was going. Maybe she didn't realize how fast.
Right. You don't realize it, especially if it's open highway and you're going a distance and you're, like you say, you're vibing out, your music is playing. It's easy. And don't let it be some hip hop, when you turned up and you mobbing.
No, you see, to you and Greer. So I was disagreeing with y'all, and I talked myself into understanding. See that?
And Orange G said Texas has speed limits of 85 miles per
Right.
hour. So going 100 isn't that fast in Texas.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the speed limit is 85, my goodness. Texas got, well, the desert, Niele, right? There, and certain desert, is it the Mojave has no speed limit?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember going through there, and I remember the signs there as you leave, like I think it's like New Mexico or something like that. And before you get into the desert, it tells you that there's no gas for like 200 miles. So that's the deterrent. Yeah, that's the deterrent for speeding, because speed, it drains your gas faster. But I don't think there's a speed limit. Yeah.
Wow, 200 miles. That's scary.
It may not be 200. It may not be 200, but it's like a long way. It might be 100. I don't know, but it's a long time before you can stop and get gas if you're going into a certain part of the Mojave Desert. And I think it's coming out of New Mexico, if I remember it correctly.
Well, let's jump into some tech headlines. This is an interesting one. Zoom is the first casualty in France's war on American big tech. Now, the French government announced it will stop using American video conferencing platforms such as Microsoft Teams and Zoom and replace it with French platforms, setting solutions to guarantee the security. This is the kicker part of why he said he's doing. He wants to set solutions to guarantee the security and confidentiality of public electronic communications by relying on a powerful and sovereign tool. So now everybody's looking at how that Trump administration is treating us and taking all of our data and using it for God knows what and giving it to Elon Musk and OpenAI. And so they said, no, we don't trust y'all with our information. We don't trust it.
Dr. Marilyn, no, I didn't get arrested. But the cop, I was fortunate. The cop that I got, his father happened to own the local newspaper there, and he asked me what I did, and he found that I was a journalist, and we talked about journalism, and he even talked to me about coming out there to work. So that was very fortunate of my part. But again, he ticketed me for 85 or something like that, and not 100. But nonetheless, going back to what you're just saying, Niele, look, this is the template on what not to do here. And so folks learn quick.
Mike V says Germany is also moving from Microsoft Office to their own platform to decouple from the US dependencies. So, this is something that we didn't even think about, but how the world is seeing how we use our technology, or Trump is using the big techs to really take advantage of all of our privacy and our information. And they're saying, we don't want that in our country. Yeah. And so this is a signal, not just to Donald Trump, but to these big tech companies of how they are abusing our information and using it against us and not, keeping it private.
Absolutely. A couple of folks, including just now, Michael Carter just tuned in saying, OMG, they just reported Don Lemon has been arrested in federal custody. Yeah, we at the top of the show, Michael and others who mentioned it now, we did talk extensively about that situation, and it's one that we will be continuing to watch, and hopefully Don is able to bail out or bond out today, not be kept, as Niele put it. It's the weekend, so a lot of times they do that, and they'll keep them, an individual all weekend. Hopefully for Don Lemon's sake, and for what is right.
Yeah.
He needs to be given bond, and let go.
But we saw what happened with Nikema Levy and the other woman that was arrested from Black Lives Matter in Minneapolis, and the challenges that their attorneys had to even get to them. And so just hopefully he'll be able to be out. But if he's not, we know why. It's intentional, because it has been all across all week. Don Lemon has been making commercials. Him and the Grammys have been tagging each other. He's talking about who he wants to talk to on the red carpet on Sunday. He gets to LA and they arrest him.
Yeah, that is
even after the judge, remember, even after the judge ruled that they had no case. So the judge ruled on this last week. So what's really going on?
Yeah, and that's the other part that we talked about on this program a number of times, how this administration, Stephen Miller and the rest of them, are not respecting and abiding by even rulings from judges. So here we are. Mike V says the Black press might have to think about decoupling from big tech platforms and create their own Black-owned platforms as well.
Yeah. Last night we had a futurist on. Her name is Sinead Bovell. And she talked about now that this time that we're in with AI and technology, this is actually the best time because this season is going to produce a lot of millionaires. And she said, just think about when technology happened and you had things like Airbnb, Zoom, and all of these different companies spring up. Well, it's that same time frame now as we look at, learning OpenAI and learning Chat GPT and all of these things. So it is a time to that point for hopefully a Black tech person to create a platform, like a Instagram. I know we have fan base, but there's space for more. Because Meta is leaning into this OpenAI. And so it's the time for Black folks to be thinking about where we fit in this space and what we're going to create to bring generational wealth in this tech world, because there's space now. That's what the trend is saying. There's space. So get in where you fit in, and don't be afraid to use AI. Don't be afraid of
it. Okay. Words from Niele.
Well, no, that was words from the futurist. That's a new term. It's like we were like, well, what is a futurist? It's just somebody that looks at the trends and they're monitoring and they're forecasting based upon data analysis that they're receiving out of the tech world. I mean, she's on these holdings calls for Meta. So she's hearing what Mark Zuckerberg is saying. She's on these Google calls and she's hearing what these technology people are saying. And she says it's an open field. So don't be afraid to lean in and figure out how to get your piece and don't get left behind.
Yeah.
Don't get left behind.
Switching gears, two of music's most influential architects will bring 4 decades of chart-topping hits to the Las Vegas Strip this spring, when Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who we recently talked about, launch a limited residency at the Venetian Resort. The legendary production duo is the recipients of 5 Grammy Awards, and they're going to perform on select dates from April 17th to the 26th. In the intimate 1,000 capacity venue nestled between the Venetian and the Palazzo. The Venetian is beautiful, folks, and the Palazzo for that matter. The residency marks a rare opportunity for audience to experience the Minneapolis-born hitmakers in a live setting, sharing both performances and the creative stories behind songs that have defined generations. So they're going to perform and they're going to talk to the audience, and they're going to talk about how they created certain music, why they did it. And so it should be a very interesting residency, Nia.
Yeah, it sounds like that's what Babyface does. And that's it. It's such a, it makes for a great show because you forget or you didn't even know, you know, that they made and created all of, you know, this music. So, you know, when you think about Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, you go all the way back to Prince, right? Think of the Janet Jacksons, the Karen Whites, and New Edition. So you have all of these different, you know, artists that are legacy artists that they have been a part of, you know, making them the artists that they are today. So I think that's going to be a super dope concert. And I love how Black artists are reinventing themselves in Las Vegas. You know, Mary J. Blige, she just announced her residency and talked about how she's going to be hitting the stage and curating a different show. So you have your tours, but when you get to Vegas, it's a different curation. It's a more intimate style thing. And so I'm excited to see that. And I'm definitely interested after hearing Mary J. Blige and how she's going to approach her run in Vegas. It's going to be a little different from the average Mary J. Blige tour. So you have Jimmy Jam and Mary J. Blige to check out.
Well, I think Greer wanted to chime in before I said.
Well, two things I'm gonna say. I guess I'll be meeting you in Vegas, Niele. That's on our trip list this year. But you know, I was thinking as you were saying this, I was like, wow, you know, how is that going to go? Because, like you said, Niele, you know, people get a chance to really learn about the work that they've done. But, you know, one of the things that I found I think is very interesting about Vegas is that that's where all the real cult followers come out, right? Mm-hmm. You think about that, right? You know, because the last time I was there, actually, was with Stacy, and you meet some interesting people who kind of like follow these types of things that you don't even really think about, right? Like these residencies and the Jimmy Jam, you know, like, and Terry Lewis, that seems to me, that would be like a really interesting residency. We should probably consider going out, because I think that would be just interviewing the people in the audience even, you know, a lot of them are coming from like LA, you know, me and my wife decided to take a day trip, you know, like that sort of thing. But I think that, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how this rolls out, though. But I think what's even more interesting are the people that go to stuff like that. Right. Because we know who Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis is, right? And we know the music they've created. But these still were the background guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
I mean, I know they had their moment, but these are still the background guys. So the people that go to this residency, I just think they're probably a really interesting group of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like she said, when we went and talking to folks, we went out with the Michael Jackson 1 situation, and we know Michael Jackson's not Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. It's a different thing. But to her point, the people that when they tell you why they're there, and the type of people that are there to see these things, it is extremely interesting. I think this would be extremely interesting. I think Bria is 100% right, because Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they didn't gain their fame by their vocals or their music, you know, as background at the time for the time. They gained their fame because of the great production and producing that they did for Janet and others. No, they did not produce Prince. Let me straighten that out right now. Prince produced.
I mean, they played with Prince.
They played with him.
I mean, they could have suggested some lyrics. I mean,
and he said, "Get lost. I got this." No, I'm messing with you, Niele.
I know. But yeah, I mean, I love Vegas in a show. I mean, I've been to Vegas to see Usher. I've seen Jodeci. I've seen New Edition, which I'm excited to go see Saturday with Tony Braxton and Boyz II Men. But it's just a great time. It's a dinner and a show. Dinner and a show. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Usher, his show. I went during COVID, when he first started that residency, and he built it up to be this phenomenon that everybody had to go see, which was different from his tour. Same thing with New Edition. It is just a more intimate feeling when you're in Vegas than when you see them in your city. It's just a different type vibe. And if there is no seat in a Vegas theater, that is a bad seat. If you're at the top, it is a good seat.
And that is true.
So, I mean, it's dinner and a show, Vegas. The only person that's getting the crazy reviews right now in Vegas is J-Lo and the notes that she is hitting. And she thinks she's hitting those notes. And everybody on TikTok is like, baby, stop it. You are not a Whitney Houston or a Mariah Carey. Knock it off, girl. And dance.
Hey, Stacy, remember when, I think it's completely a dead city right now. And I say that maybe I'm just not hearing about it. But the East Coast, our Vegas was Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. But like I don't know, nobody really, since the days of Trump, nobody really goes to Atlantic City like that. But that was our like, oh, we going to Atlantic City this weekend. You know what I mean?
Right. That was our thing.
That was our thing. People don't really go there. Like when you told me you to see Chuck's show, the hip hop thing there this past weekend, I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about Atlantic City like that.
Yeah, well,
and I'm wondering why they don't do more residency, like especially like. Well, I know that Mary lives in LA now, right? Mm-hmm. She lives in LA, right? Yeah. So I mean, all the artists live, they live out in LA now. So coming to do a residency in in Atlantic City, I guess it's just unheard of. But
yeah, that was supposed to be the thing. But you mentioned Trump, and again, we know that the temperature right now when you mention Trump. But and this is no reflection on that, because he was the first to really kind of put a black mark on Atlantic City. There was problems with his hotel. It was beautiful. The Trump Hotel there was absolutely gorgeous. The one in Vegas is absolutely gorgeous, but there was some bad business dealings. I think he filed bankruptcy. And then the mayor there turned out to be corrupt. There was mob situations worse than they say than in Vegas in their heyday with the mob. So Trump was synonymous with the fall of Atlantic City, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're going back because, like Maria said, 70s and 80s, especially the 80s. Atlantic City was it. I mean, you got
the 90s, the early 90s, it was still it. You know what I mean? But when he filed bankruptcy, and every now and again they had a couple of fights there and whatnot.
Right.
That the people who work, I used to date somebody in Atlantic City, on the weekend.
It was a weekend.
It was a weekend. It was a weekend thing. But the working in the casino, I mean, that was the economy there, right? So of course you saw your seniors, it was more a place where a lot of seniors would go in the, boardwalk and things like that. I haven't been to Atlantic City in forever, but I would imagine, because I never hear about it, that it's a ghost town because it's not as big as Vegas.
No, not at all. And it is absolute ghost town, and it's a shame because there is so much. It's still, I think, so much potential there. They built a whole international airport there because they thought it was going to continue to be the Las Vegas of the East Coast.
Right. Nancy Wall says, I'm glad to see Las Vegas using these places as residents now, so they don't have to travel anywhere and you internationally go to see them along with seeing Vegas. It's a win-win. And Mike V says, now our Dubai is Miami. Okay. And so since we're talking about entertainment, of course, this week, music's biggest night happens, and I'm talking about the Grammys hosted by Trevor Noah. And it was just broke yesterday that Lauryn Hill will return to the Grammys for a tribute to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack. It's just announced too that Tyler, the Creator, will be performing. Pharrell and the Clips will be performing. And so it's Trevor Noah's last year. So the question everybody's asking is he just going to go balls to the walls? Because he has nothing to lose. It's his last time.
Yeah, let me interrupt you. RNG is reporting that Georgia Fort has also been taken into custody this morning by federal officers. This is it's
And I said
absolutely
it. I said it.
it's
I said it.
absolutely
I said that her protection, that Don
yep,
protected those people, and I'm concerned
yep.
now about Tucson Morrison.
100%. I think that the Black Press, I think Dr. Ben Chavis needs to make a statement. I think that the Griot
No,
needs to
not
make a statement.
Roland Martin needs
Roland
to make
Martin
a
needs to make a
statement. The
statement.
NABJ needs to make a
NABJ,
statement.
NAACP. Everybody, I think this is a moment where you cannot not say anything. You cannot, uh, you know, Don Lemon is independent. He's a black independent, black owned and operated media. You know, this is Georgia Fort, black woman out there. You know, we have the leadership of all these black owned media has to.
I think that black owned media for sure, but I think this is something that the NABJ needs to be front and center on because they represent black journalists. And you know, they campaign, they wanted our votes, Roland Martin. They need to be out front with this ASAP. This is ridiculous. And Nakima Levy, Mike V says, has anyone heard from Nakima Levy? I got it. She put out an email yesterday, and I did reach out to her. She hadn't responded. And so yeah, I mean, I am highly concerned about what Don Lemon being arrested means for journalists in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and I'm concerned about all of them as well. And I'm concerned also about Georgia because she has small children.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think we should be putting that out there.
Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying her family.
Yeah, it is as disconcerting as it can be. I just think that this is where leaders lead.
This is what terrorists do. They're afraid because the one thing about it, Georgia is putting out boots on the ground truth, unfiltered, and she's doing it at the cost of jeopardize. She's out there at 2 a.m. in the morning when they're getting tear gassed. Okay, and so I just, you know. And you know, like talking to her when Nakima got arrested, that was the first person that I talked to was Georgia Fort, and the heaviness in her voice because she was afraid, right? Because she was afraid, and then it's like, okay, the court rules in Don Lemon's favor, so it's kind of like okay, and then you turn around, and then this happens. They're trying to silence people.
Yeah. We're gonna Denise Rolock Barnes from the Washington Informer should be jumping on in a moment.
And to Patricia Jackson, that was the one thing. Well, that was one of Georgia Fort's biggest talking points, is that y'all need to fight for us like y'all fought for Jimmy Kimmel. That's her talking point. She has been saying that since we've had her on the show. We need to fight for them like we fought for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. There's, like you said, Tucson. Everybody's at risk now.
Tucson Morrison, he's in danger. Jolly, what's his name? Jolly Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger Jolly. Right. Exactly. He's very, very outspoken, and there are so many,
and they're so mad. You know what too?
Well,
I think
why are they so mad?
Because they got their ass kicked this week. Okay, they were. Where's our interview with Georgia? They're mad because they got their ass kicked this weekend. They had to fire the Govin guy, or you know, they had to fire him. Christy Nome couldn't speak at the cabinet meeting yesterday. Stephen Miller has to back. They're pissed because they're losing. They thought that they could just go in and bully us, and it's not working to their advantage. So they're mad. And so they're looking for blood. Somebody got to pay. They're pissed. They got their ass kicked this weekend. And that's what the American people have to understand too. They're mad because they're not getting their way. You have Chuck, not Chuck Schumer, but the rest of them, Congress holding the road. Okay, their little funding is about to get messed up today. Mm-hmm. They had a horrible week, and now they want somebody to pay for it, and they blame the journalists who are telling the truth because they pretty much can control CNN, MSNBC, you know what I mean? But the boots on the ground, those people are pissing them off because they're telling the truth, and the truth is getting out.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike V says they thought they had an easy victory. They did, and so they're pissed, okay? Stephen Miller's pissed because people are now talking about not just Kristi Noem, but him. His name is on the chopping block now, too. People are saying his name, and that's what I say. It ain't Kristi Noem. Cut him out, and you'll get rid of all of the little stragglers.
So there's, I know Lauren Burke said it. A couple of people in the chat have said it, that Don has a really good lawyer. How important is that right now? Or does that even move the needle right now with the way that they have stuff so rigged?
Black Virginia News says Grammy Sunday should be a protest. It should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does it, Niele, does it matter about the lawyers at this point? What type of lawyer he might have or may not have?
Of course. And hopefully, you know, like, where is the fund that, and when I talked to Georgia last week, I asked her, you know, what can we do? She was like, you know, support, you know, go to her page, donate. I'm about to go donate because she needs attorneys now. You know, she's doing the work. And so when we think about how to support movement, you know, right now, the best thing we could do is help make sure that she has a good lawyer, because Don Lemon has a lawyer. Right. I wish he would make sure that she had a lawyer too. You know, that would be nice, Don. But, you know, let's make sure that she has good representation, because the headline today is going to be Don Lemon, but it should really be Georgia Fort and Don Lemon.
Excuse me. MS Now saying that a total of 3 have been arrested this morning. I don't know who the others are. We're talking about journalists. So I'm trying to find out who are the journalists who have been arrested other than Georgia and Don. So this is again, it's still developing as we speak, and I guess we'll continue to bring you more on this next week as well, because this is some serious stuff that's going on here. So we'll talk about it. We'll be talking about it. This is we are kind of expecting Denise Rolock Barnes. We kind of held everything up a little bit, but we have a couple more
stories.
Of the Washington. Yeah,
we have more stories to get through.
Yeah,
we have more stories to get through, but we'll definitely be monitoring that story. As you know, that is part of our, you know, way that we're getting information to give to you through Georgia, through Tucson, through Nakima. You know, I'm trying to get to Nakima because February 1st marks the 1-year anniversary of the Target boycott, which is what she was at the forefront of. And so those are our allies in Minneapolis, and how we get the information to you. And so, you know, let's support them, you know, with our resources, and of course, keep them in prayer. And while we do that, we still have to, you know, remember there's a boycott today. No school, no nothing. Just shut this shit down if you can. We have one more story. I don't even feel good about doing it, but you know, we have to keep it going. That's what we do. Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan is coming to Netflix. And so it's being reported that Khan has signed a reported $10 million deal with Netflix for 7 episodes of a limited series exploring her life and her legacy. And so, as we were talking about residencies, even the streaming companies are tapping in to this legacy piece. I saw that Madonna got a Netflix deal too with the limited series. And so all of these icons from the past are getting these limited edition shows to talk about how they became who they are.
Yeah, and there's a statement just put out now by Public Citizen co-president Lisa Gilbert. She says Don Lemon's arrest is an egregious violation of the First Amendment. Reporters in America are free to view, document, and share information with the public. This arrest is a constitutional violation, an outrage, an authoritarian breach, and utterly appalling. The other statements are coming out left and right. I wanted to read the Public Citizen's statement because that is right spot on. And now, unfortunately, it has to apply to Georgia and the Kima and others who are being attempting to be silenced and cut off from what they do here, bringing us the information that we all deserve to know. So.
I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I'm getting text messages now from KBLA. Did you hear that they arrested Georgia for? I mean, this is it's scary times because this is a threat to all journalists. Okay. It's not just about it makes you think about what you say, how you say it. And we were talking about data and in France and Germany not wanting to be allies with our big tech companies because of the data. So the things that we say, we never know how they're going to come back or what this Trump admin is doing. We see what's happening on TikTok. They're suppressing journalists, information, those who are contrary to what the Trump agenda is. And so these are very scary times now. Like they say, it's going to knock on our door. Fulton County was the knock for Black America. Okay. Fulton County, because that's a Black. Now they're attacking Black journalists. So they are attacking us now. Okay. This isn't just an undocumented thing. This is a people of color thing.
Yeah. And House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is expected to address the situation during a press conference at 10:30 a.m. Eastern this morning. Just got that alert.
And this cannot just be about Don Lemon. Okay,
right.
So
100%.
I think somebody needs to call. I think when I get off this, I'm gonna call my House Minority Speaker's office and let them know to say her name. This is not about Don Lemon, because Don Lemon went to Minneapolis because of the journalism that Georgia and Tucson and those other journalists were doing to raise the alarm. That's why he went to Minneapolis. So this is not about Don Lemon. This is really about Georgia Fort and the work that they're doing.
Right.
So you can't say Don's name without saying Georgia's.
At 100%. And Tucson and the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
Patricia Jackson.
Go ahead. She said, if you all are late Monday, we are going to think, WTF, this is crazy. She says, right, Don is headline, but not only one. And Don would say the same thing. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Again, this is where everybody needs to. I'm seeing, like you said, you're getting texts. I'm seeing statements come across my email. What I want to see is, as I said, like, and you said, NABJ has to be front and center here. The Griot, the Black Press.
I think, everybody, all him, but I think NABJ, NABJ, isn't Roland Martin the vice president of digital, and that this is what's happening to our digital journalists, and if there's not a more stronger voice, it's Don Lemon. I mean, it's Roland Martin, and so I really am looking to them because all of the journalists fall under NABJ.
Yeah, I would imagine and be shocked if Joy Reid didn't say anything. I would imagine she's going to go hard. They all are. You know, our girl, the influencer. Why am I drawing a blank?
Booker
You know who I'm
Square.
talking
You talking about Booker
Booker,
Square?
Elizabeth Booker. I'm pretty sure she's gonna go hard. But they can't be the only ones. Is all I'm saying. It's got to be these organizations. It's got to be the alphabet soup. It's got to be.
Yeah. NAACP,
Hmm.
Urban League, they need to really jump in and something. But
Yeah.
this is not okay.
It is definitely not okay. Michael Carter says free all journalists who are just doing their jobs. Georgia Fort, Don Lemon, and others. You can't sit there. You can't. I don't care who you are. You can't sit there and say, "Okay, so what? This is okay." You can't. You just can't. You can't.
And if you
So
haven't, go follow Georgia. Let's support her by following her, keeping up with her updates. It's by Georgia Fort. That is her Instagram handle name. But if you type her name in, Georgia Fort, I'm sure it'll pop up. But let's follow her. Let's support her any way we can.
yeah. Well, I guess Denise couldn't jump on. She expressed interest in jumping on to talk about Don Lemon and Georgia Fort and the rest of them, but perhaps we'll get Denise Roloff Barnes, the publisher of the Washington Informer, on at another time to discuss this. But just want to leave you with some black facts. On this date in 1867, Morgan State University, a HBCU, of course, was founded in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, the university enrolls about 6,000 students. It was named after the Reverend Littleton F. Morgan, who served as chairman of the board of trustees from 1876 until 1886. So on this date, back in 1867, the birth of Morgan State University.
Okay. Dr. Melina Abdullah is texting me now, saying that she just sent the video. And I'll get that. But I mean, I just feel bad. Like even like so in 1961, before there was Destiny's Child and the Supremes, there were the Shirelles. Anybody familiar with the Shirelles?
Yeah.
They became the first Black group to achieve a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 with Will You Love Me Tomorrow. I had to play that last night, and I was like, I do know that song.
You do know it.
This song was written by Carole King and Gary Goffin, and it established the quartet as the first all-female group to top the U.S. charts. So, before Destiny Child and Supremes, there was the Shirelles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh, she's
absolutely.
alumni of Georgia State. Okay.
Oh, nice, nice. Morgan State.
Okay, here's a Greer. I'm gonna send this to you. This is a message from Georgia as she was
Oh,
getting arrested.
yeah.
So let me send this to you right now. You
Yeah,
can
and
play it.
as she do that, Greer has also informed that Dr. Ben Chavis is preparing a statement as we speak on behalf of the National Newspaper Publicists Association. So, so the NNPA apparently will be making a statement, and again, hopefully others, NABJ for sure, Roland Martin for sure, the Griot for sure. Hopefully, they all will be making statements. It would be nice.
And what is our
Certainly,
call to action? We're
right.
gonna make these
There you go.
statements, but what is our
There you
CTA? What
go.
is our call to action?
There you
What
go.
is it?
Well,
That's what we
yeah,
need.
I think that we need to, everybody needs to not only pay attention to what's happening with Black media today. Perhaps there's going to be some lawmakers there, people in those areas, with our call to action, what to do in those areas. Stay tuned. Lauren Live is happening right now. She is also going to be discussing some of these things. Dr. Chavis is, speaking about it. Reverend Mark Thompson is just getting up to speed. So I'm sure we'll be hearing from him today. What I say for folks that pay attention to Black media today, and if we are not, meeting the moment, then we need, you need to, let's call some folks out.
Well, and I hope, Greer, maybe after the call we can chop up the interview that we did with Georgia, because a lot of the things that happened today, she addressed those in that interview. And so I think from
Yeah,
our
I already dropped it
perspective,
in Opus Clips.
for let it be known, is to amplify her conversations in several pieces today, and with a message, as to how to support her, and how to, uplift her. I just sent you the video if you want to play it in the DM, Greer. Um, Georgia was talking, I think, before she was arrested.
Wow. So that's the very latest, folks. As Greer said, Lauren Live is going to be it's happening right now, actually, 9:30 Eastern time, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of this all day, all weekend, and we
Did you
will.
get? Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
We can't hear it.
Oh, let's see if we can't get that audio before we go close out.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. Let's see what
They
this.
have a warrant. I could play mine.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. I think she has it.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
I'll play the audio though. I'll just play it.
My attorney, and I'm being advised to. Do you want to wear my glass? You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours.
Film.
And, for my arrest, I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to.
Do you want to wear my black boots?
You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest. I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, down to Whipple. And my children are here. They're impacted by this. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media. We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press. Because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church protest a few weeks ago. Again, I don't have a long time here, you guys, but I wanted you to know, for me, agents are at my door right now. My attorney has spoken with them. I did send a relative outside to talk to them. They're showing some type of documentation, apparently, that they got an indictment from a grand jury. I knew that I was on a defendant's list. I did not publish it because it was under seal. And so we've done everything that we can to try and abide by, the advice of our attorneys. But right now, you guys, I wanted you to know, I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to.
Yeah, so make sure you go follow Georgia Fort. There's more conversation on her page as well about this developing story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was, news happens. This is extremely important news. It wasn't our intention to be so heavy on a Friday. Unfortunately, like we said earlier, it's the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. But remember, today is the protest. It is a ice out. No school, no shopping, no nothing. And so that's the only thing that we have right now. And then, of course, to raise the awareness of Georgia Fort, even if you have a social page, say her name, put her picture up, put Don Lemon's picture up. You don't understand. I think people underestimate how much power we have just within our collective family, in our neighborhoods, in the people that are in our social media home. So take to social media today, and instead of posting, what you normally do, post Georgia Ford, post Don Lemon, post, we're having a blackout. You will be surprised at how many people within your circle will respond to your call to action today.
Yeah. Folks, be safe. Have a safe weekend. Have a as best a weekend as you can, and we'll get back at this on Monday.
Yeah,
Have a good
and be sure to follow Black Press USA, y'all.